Aqua Room. We're going to talk about science today. Science is all around us. I can see birds flying in the trees. There's a squirrel right up above me. The grass is growing. The plants are growing. Science is everywhere. But today I want to talk to you about the polar regions. If you look at a globe, I just have a little tiny globe at home with me. If you look at the globe, right in front of you there, the yellow is the United States right here. That's where we live. That's our country. And above it, on the very top, right up here, this is the North Pole. This is one of the polar regions. There's only two. The second one is on the very bottom. That is the South Pole. So if we turn it, if you see on the very top, the North Pole is mostly water. And if we look at the South Pole, it's just the opposite. Antarctica is on the South Pole. Antarctica is one big continent. It takes up most of the South Pole. There is ocean around it. Let's take a look at some pictures of some animals. The first one is a baby seal. This animal lives in the North Pole. The baby seal lives in the North Pole. Baby seal is white when it's born, and as it gets older, here's a picture of an older seal. They turn black. I thought that was fun. I have another picture for you. The Arctic fox. I don't know if there you can see it. The Arctic fox. The Arctic fox is all white. The baby seal was white. What other animal lives in the North Pole you can think of that's all white? Did you think of a polar bear? I bet you did. You guys are so smart. Polar bears live in the North Pole too. Do you know what animal does not live in the North Pole? Polar bears live in the North Pole. Fox live in the North Pole. The seals we saw, some walruses live in the North Pole. There are people in the North Pole too. Then there's the other pole, the South Pole. There really aren't any people that live down there year round. There are people that work there. They're called research scientists and other kind of explorers. Go there, but they don't live there all the time. There aren't any people that habitat the South Pole. That means they live there all the time. But there are animals. I wonder if you guessed my favorite one, the penguins. I just love penguins. They live in the South Pole. All the penguins that we know of live underneath the equator. So that means they live half on the southern half of the hemisphere. But look, it's very snowy in the South Pole too. In fact, the South Pole is colder than the North Pole. The North Pole gets very cold. My coat would not be warm enough for the North Pole, but the South Pole gets even colder. That's why not many people live there. It is really just too cold to live there all the time. These scientists that stay there and the explorers, sometimes they can't go outside for months at a time because it is so very cold. But those penguins, they love that cold. Let's take a look at some penguins. Here's a nice picture. These are king penguins. I wanted to show you a picture of penguins swimming. There's another very nice, picture. These penguins live on the rocks. So they don't live where it's very, very cold. They live somewhere else. Oh, here's a great picture of penguins swimming. Look how fast they are. Do you see the looks like water behind them or a jet stream behind them? That's just air that's moving behind them because they're going so fast. Their flippers don't really work for flying, but they do a great job for swimming. Their feet too. The penguins that live in the cold, their feet aren't so great for walking on land, but they're really good at swimming in the water. There's another penguin just gliding through the water. That's a Humboldt penguin. It is named after a scientist. There's a penguin on the icy terrain. Snowy penguin. All right, Aqua Room. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning about the Arctic regions, the polar regions today. I'm going to put a link right up in the right-hand corner. Oh, it'll be up on the top of the screen. There'll be a link to show you a video of 2 explorers that went to the North Pole in the winter time. In the winter time, the North Pole is dark almost all day long, if not the whole day. Some days in the winter in the North Pole, it's dark the whole time for 24 hours. And then sometimes each day gets a little longer, just like here, so there is some light on some of those days. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. See you later. Bye.